Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Have a wonderful guest coming on this afternoon. Thanking you guys for your support, for keeping it real. Conversations with Sunshine. I am waiting on Shekinah Stacy to come in. Waiting for her. Hope you guys are having a great afternoon. All is well. Had a great day at work. Now I'm relaxing, doing something that I love to do, which is talk and help. So while we're waiting for Shekinah to come on, for those who are looking for sponsorship to the show, who would love their businesses or opportunities, events to be advertised on the show, please contact me. If you have my number, or you can go through my Facebook page, or you can email me at CamilaFoster51@gmail.com. And that's KAMILAH Foster FOSTER 51@gmail.com. I will gladly give you the information to be able to advertise your event or things like that. So again, we're waiting for the guests to come in. I hope you guys have been going to the YouTube channel. And again, that is Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine. Please like and share. Please subscribe to the channel. You can go back at any time and watch the live. And enjoy the shows from previous. I believe she's on. Hello, Shekinah. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
You might want to fix your camera because like I can only see half of your face.
Okay, 1 second.
So while she's getting prepared, I let everyone know that this show is about connections. It's about helping one another get to their next plateau in life, whether it's advice with coping with whatever situation, addictions, whatever it is. We probably know somebody in our own circle to help us get through what we need to get through. I believe in the 6 degrees of separation. It has happened several times since we have started this show. That is somebody in my circle knows somebody in somebody else's circle, and we connect and make another connection. Also, I let people know, how do I know the person that I'm talking to? So for Miss Shekinah Stacy, I don't want to say used to be my niece because I still feel like she's my niece.
I'm still your niece.
Exactly. So she's my niece, and Miss Shekinah has been, I'm gonna say, a force to be reckoned with since she was little, like super little. And what do I mean by that? Shekinah has been in a place all of her own. She's not like most people, especially at her young age. She was never like most kids. Um, she has been serving God since I remember, with preaching, with dancing, with all types of ministry gifts that's in her. She has the gift of writing with poetry, and I thought it was befitting that someone of her age, she's now in college, she has a job. Come on now, somebody. She out here being independent. And I thought it was befitting for the world to see someone like Shekinah, um, doing her thing, serving the Lord, and having fun doing it. Um, and she has her own business. So again, welcome my niece Shekinah Stacy to the platform of Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine. So
Thank
Shekinah,
you,
how
thank
was
you,
your
thank
day
you.
today?
My day is good. Actually, I got the times mixed up. I thought the interview was at 4. I was downstairs making orders and I looked at the time. And when you text me, I looked at our messages and I was like, oh, shoot. So I had to stop making orders and hurry up and rush upstairs. So I was like, okay. So I was trying to get everything together. So my day has been
Good, 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 good.
good. I'm glad I made it on time,
Right.
somewhat on time.
So, another thing that is cool, where I currently work, not the actual facility, but for the company, Shekinah,
Mm,
in a long story, once removed, we end up working for the same company. How odd was
right.
that? Like,
Look at
so,
God.
her boss, some kind of incident happened, and her grandmother was telling me about this young, this person, and I said, that sounds like somebody I know. And she was like, well, I don't know what's his name, but he's somebody, and da 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 da. And I put two
Right.
and two together, and he is the same guy that helped her out, is the same guy that pushed me to be a team lead where I am now.
Really.
He purposely like, I'm gonna tell them about you. I don't know, it's something about you. And
Is
with
it
him,
Mr. Smith?
yes, Mrs. Smith.
Okay.
So he makes sure that I'm on my P's and Q's, and he makes sure
Mhm.
that if any opportunity comes open, he definitely lets me know, or he's putting my name in the hat. So
Wow. That
she
is amazing.
yeah, she ended up being working for the same dude that opened doors for me.
That is crazy.
Absolutely crazy. I'm gonna say
He
it just
literally
crazy.
saved my job.
Yes,
So, so yeah, that's really crazy.
yes. So when the story was told, I was like, yes, I know who exactly who it is. And so when I told him, he was like, Shekinah, that's my girl. That's my girl. I said, well, your girl is my niece. He was like, wow, smart
I
work,
didn't know
bro.
that he knew that.
No, I told him, I think a couple of days after the fact,
Wow. He
once I
still
found
hasn't
out
said
about it.
anything to me about you. So he probably don't even want me to know that he know you.
Or Mr.
Or
Smith is
he
so
probably
busy.
just, yeah.
Oh, he's the man over there, like
Yeah,
super
I'm
super
learning.
busy. So it probably crossed his mind. Um,
Well,
so while I have this time with you, what I don't even know where I want to start with you because it's so personal. Like I've seen you grow up before my eyes. So let's go with, when did you know that you were officially, as they say, called by the Lord or called to do something different? When did you know?
um, so I was just actually talking to my mom about this because growing up, we didn't have a choice. I grew up with, the type of grandma and the type of mom that was like, as for me in my house. we serve the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always told that I was called. I was always told that this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna be into the church. So I really didn't gain the confidence of actually knowing that I was called to have a personal relationship with God and until I want to say about middle school. And I was just like going to church. I was praise dancing on the praise and worship team. Like I was so active, but you know how you kind of do something just because it's what's going on around you. Everybody in my family is into the church, so it happened naturally. But when I no, it was actually high school because I got electrocuted. And I got electrocuted with because of like a phone charger, and it was a crazy situation. And so can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you now.
And so I got electrocuted, and I remember I was like laying in a hospital bed, and I was just kind of like just praying and talking to God, and I actually didn't do that often. And I realized that laying in the bed that outside of church, I didn't really establish a relationship where I just talked to God and spoke hospital bed, and I was just like, why would this happen to me? Like, all the people, why would this happen to me? And I felt like before that point, I had kind of just been riding on the anointing of my grandmother, my mother. I have been using their testimonies to minister to people as to why, they should believe in God and, all of these things. And I feel like that situation was kind of just to help me establish a personal relationship with God. And I just heard God say to me clear as day, like, you need your own testimony, because I have to show you that outside of just being in a church and doing what you're told, I got you, basically. Like, this don't have nothing to do with your grandmother. This don't have nothing to do with your mother. This is me and you. And I remember so many doctors coming to me and they were asking me, like, well, what happened? How did you get electrocuted? Like, how did this happen? And I had my hair down, like I had it down now. And they was just like, I remember one of the doctors looked at me and she was like, you're supposed to be dead, right? Like you like got electrocuted around your neck and your hair was down. Like my hair was supposed to catch on fire. She was like, either you were supposed to be dead or this was just supposed to go terribly wrong. And that whole situation really, I would say, just kind of just let me know that I was called, like, okay, this is real.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, I'm in this. And ever since then, I just kind of knew, even when I didn't know exactly what it was, I knew, like, okay, I'm supposed to rock with God. Like, and that was just kind of it.
So with, you know, I'm hearing you, which is, the points that I want to bring out. Sometimes, like they said, you come into a family and that's all they do is church, 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 church.
Mhm.
And you like, dude, I want to grow up. I want to experience life. I want to go outside with my friends. No, you got to be in revival. No, you got to pray. No,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And with you, being young and being under your mom, being under your grandmother, being under your great grandmother, who are all prayer warriors that always, if they don't watch TV that much, they not on the phone that much, and if they are on the
Hmm.
phone, they praying for somebody. And
Okay.
so, you had, life, you going through high school, you about to get ready to go to prom and all of these things. Did you feel like any pressure? Like, am I gonna make the wrong decision and feel like I'm about to
Okay.
go to hell right now?
So listen, so like you said, for me, the foundation was pretty much laid. So right before I went to college, I actually did it was like a rap and tap. It was like a panel at I believe it was at pastor and First Lady Ivory's church, which is Church of Holiness, and it was hosted by Minister Griffin. And so the topic was bridging the gap between like the youth and the older people. And I think it was so important for me to do this before I went off to college because it kind of just recentered me. And I didn't know college was going to be a point in my life where I didn't really go to church. I'm on campus. It wasn't a church on campus. My college campus is actually pretty isolated. It's like in a really isolated part of the South, so it's not much around there. I didn't have a car. So when I got to college, and I, for the first time in my life, like I didn't go to church on a Sunday.
Wow.
I wasn't in a prayer meeting, and I didn't have the desire to. And when I didn't have that desire, I was like, something is wrong with me. I'm a heathen. Like what is happening? Like I felt bad because I didn't have that natural desire to go to church. And it was like Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. And it was just like, okay, church is no longer something that I do. And is it because I'm on campus? Because I can find the church, but I was okay with not going to church. I was okay with not having a desire to pray every day. That was something I was like, I get a break. I'm good. But it was like, I didn't really know how to feel about it because like I said, I was always in church. So it was like, okay, what does this make me? It was really just like, what does this make me? And then the reality of it was the things that I was learning about myself didn't have nothing to do with God. The things that I was falling in love with, the things that I was liking, didn't have nothing to do with God. So even in that, it was just like, what is this? How do I, navigate this? What do I do with this? Because everything about my life has always been centered in church and in God. And I remember like, even when things would happen to my friends, I will still be the one they call, like, Shekinah, I need to pray. Or, can you pray with me? Something happened back home or something like that. And I was still always that one that they knew, like, okay, call Shekinah because she gonna pray. And I remember even being at like a homecoming party or something like that, and something happened, and I just started praying in the middle of the party. Everybody was just kind of looking at me like, what's like,
right?
Who is
Mm-hmm.
like, who brought the church girl to the party?
Right.
So
Time to go.
Like, yeah, so I always keep God with me. But I remember like I was just like, I gotta find a way to like just get back, just keep that with me, even though I don't have a church to go to. And that is the time where a lot of young people that grew up in the church really find themselves, because you're in a place where you realize you only really went to church because you were forced to do it, or because you were told to do it. You don't even really know who you are because you've always been told, okay, you're going to be a part of the praise team. You're going to praise dance. You're going to be at the choir. You're going to do this. But until you say, God, this is what I want to do. This is what my heart yearns to do because it pleases you. You don't really have that identity rooted in God. You really don't have that. So being in college really, it really was an eye opener for me. Even when I started making mistakes and just being in a place where I had to learn how to be real with God and say, God, this is something that I'm struggling with. This is something, that I like, that it may not please you. So how do I bring that? How do I even bring that to God? And that's why I think it's so important, like I said, too, even when as you're getting older and you've been in the church, to kind of take that time for yourself, even when you're isolated, to say, okay, like, who am I really in God? What do I really like to do? Because it might not really be praise dance. Mm-hmm. It might not really be singing in the choir. It might not be none of the things that you did growing up. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that
So while you're talking, I'm hearing like, okay, it's the scripture, Proverbs 22:6, where it says, train up, what in an NIV it says, start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. So it's like that experience that you're talking about is that right there. It's like we've been taught these things, but when we are stepped out of none of our parents' presence, but out of our church, out of our comfort zone, who are you really? And
Yes.
then you might trip, you might fall, you might do all of these crazy things. And then you be like, I learned a lesson. I remember when my mama used to talk about this back in the day, and you've been in your mind back then, I ain't gonna never do that. No, nope, not me. And then when you get out there,
When you, you be like,
you
let
find
me see what
yourself
that tastes like.
sipping, you find yourself doing something
Okay.
like, where this come from?
And you like it.
So
that's what they don't tell. They don't tell you that, hey, sin is fun. You
right.
know?
And you have to have, like you said, you have to have your relationship, your personal relationship with him. Like he understands, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then even in some of the stuff, as we call it sin, no little sin is bigger than the bigger sin. You got to find yourself way back to that first love, back to your
Yeah.
first love. Hopefully, some of us honestly didn't make it back. And that's the grace part. That's the
I'm
peace
still
part.
making it back
Woo!
because a lot of people don't talk about the falling and getting back up. And not only
No, they skip
are
all
you
the stuff,
falling,
all the meat part in
and
the middle of the book.
they skip it. And that was something, and I think that's why I said doing that panel before I went to college helped me, because a lot of the problems with the older saints and the younger saints is they have a tendency to play the blame game. Oh, the church ain't where it's supposed to be because of the young people and they want to do what they want to do. And then the young people, oh, I don't go to church because old people act like they ain't never made a mistake and they don't judge me and da 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 da. And when we finally stop playing the blame game and say, look, I struggle with the same thing you struggle with. I did it. You not the first person that did it. People act like young people are the first person in the world to drink
That made
alcohol,
up
to deal with
mistakes.
lesbianism,
No.
to deal with homosexuality, to deal with gluttony, to deal with greed, to deal with alcoholism. We were not the first people to deal with these issues, but all of the weight and the blame is put on young people, and that's where the resentment comes in. That's why they don't want to go to church, because they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to hear that. But when I was in school, and even now, like 1 Corinthians 15, I think it was 9 through 10, when Paul said, he had to tell God, I'm the least of the apostles, but I am what I am because of you. And I resonate with Paul so much because Paul just was so transparent when it came to God. And I really struggle with that, because growing up in the church, and when you're young and people see that you're into the church, oh, she prays dances, she does all of these things, they kind of put you on a pedestal and they
Pedestal.
don't realize it. And so I didn't feel like I had the right to make a mistake. I didn't feel like I had the right to struggle with different things, because growing up in the church, people always just praise me. Oh, she's this, she's that. So it was like, even coming back from school, I didn't know how to bring this to God. I didn't know how to bring this to my leaders and say, hey, when I was at school, I wasn't going to church. And as soon as I was coming back from school, people was calling me, hey, can you praise dance? Can you da 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 da? And I didn't even feel like I was in a place to do that anymore.
Do that. Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, not saying that I was just out there just wilding, but I know what it takes to, I'm brought up, like I said, on the upbringing, it's holiness of hell. You want me to be real with you? I wasn't being holy at school. I wasn't at church every Sunday. I wasn't praying 24/7. So it's like nobody, I think, really thought like, okay, we just gonna have her come back from school and jump right into where she left off at. And at that point, I was just like, God, my place. You're realizing certain things that all, and not only am I trying to get back up, but I'm trying to figure out who I am in you. am I really called to praise dance? Like I said, what am I? Am I a prophet? Am I a preacher? Am I a dancer? Am I a praiser? So that's another thing. Like I said, is just finding your identity and finding who you are and who you were really called to be versus just doing whatever. And I found myself really struggling with who I was becoming versus who I felt like I was been how I've been told to be. And so now that's just a big thing for me. It's just like, are you doing this because you're being told to do it? Are you doing this because you feel like God called you to do it? Why? What's the reason?
So I remember at one point it was like you said, Shekinah could do no wrong. Everybody had on the church face and not being honest with, I have feelings or I have questions and I don't want to feel like I could never get my answers because I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
hurt your feelings. Or I don't want,
Exactly.
like, well, Shekinah, how could you be feeling that? What's going on in your body? You an
Mm-hmm.
adolescent. You know how that goes. You start having feelings and you be like, hey, something ain't right.
I
What's
need
going on here?
this ain't normal.
This ain't normal. Why am I thinking this? Why is, things happening? And it's like it's shut off. Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, holiness or hell. And it's like, you can't really say that to a kid or an adolescent who's trying to find themselves in the world and still have that balance between, I'm here, I'm learning, I'm growing. And then with I remember at the campus of U of M, you got all these different religions here. I was brought up Baptist, right?
Right.
You get up there and it's like you got the fraternities, you got the sororities, you seen all these movies like, yes, the Q's having a party this weekend. I just want to be a part of what's going on. And then is you got that party, you got all these different religions on campus, you around people that you normally don't see all the time, meaning people from other ethnicities. You like, okay, it's so much going on a college campus. It's like a eye opener, like seriously eye opener. And I'm like, okay, I know what I was taught, but ain't
But I know what
nobody
I
here.
see.
So here we come in and questioning the character of yourself. Like, I know my grandma would not approve of what I'm doing. I
Mm.
know sure enough my mama wouldn't approve of what I'm doing. But shoot, they ain't here. So therefore, I'm about to enjoy myself. God, please forgive me, cover me while I'm doing what I'm doing. And then I'll get back to my room and be like, okay, God, please forgive me. Now, like I said, some people make it back with the grace of God, and some people didn't. And so to thank God that you made it on this side and still in the process of still finding yourself in Him, not in what you were taught, not in your mom, not in your grandma, your great grandma, the whole ancestry of the Stacys, the whole set of the Thompsons, none of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's about you and your relationship with God. We gonna fall. Yes, we all do. But for whatever reason, they don't want to admit that they fall. We do it every day.
Because the reality is, if more people were to just admit, this is something that I struggle with. So let me help you so that you can help yourself.
Exactly.
If more people were just to be more transparent about things that they struggle with, not even in college, but just period.
Period.
Because if we would just talk about it, it wouldn't be such a big deal.
Big deal. And you can
Because
catch things off early if you talk
yes,
about it. This is the whole point of this platform. Because we have gone so long with assuming that I'm good and I got all this secret sin that I'm going on, or when I close my door, you have no idea what I'm doing in my household or what's
mm-hmm,
going on in my household unless somebody in the household tell it. But the truth be told, we got some issues. And a lot of it happened in our adolescent time that we never got healed from. Okay? some doors that we
Okay,
opened
because
when we were
even
kids and we
in
never got healed from or delivered from.
and now you got to deal with that thing by yourself, because not only are you seeing stuff around you, and if you may have struggled with alcoholism and you never really dealt with it, and now you on college, ain't nobody telling you not to drink, or no, you need to slow down. So now you're seeing that this is an issue. You use this as a coping mechanism. Now you're aware of it. Okay, I see this is not something that, this is something that I struggle with, and now I'm left to deal with it by myself. And nobody talked about it. Nobody told me what was going on with it. And the
This is
reality
another
is,
thing too.
again, like Paul said in Romans, the flesh is the flesh. And I had to really, in my flesh, the flesh dwelleth no good thing. So it's like, it's not make me not human to have a struggle, because everybody got a flesh, and nobody is just operating in the spiritual realm 24/7. Yeah.
But the other thing too, I remember my mom told me um that there's things in the family that if you're not careful, it'll be your stronghold. Meaning, like you said, alcohol. So when I know these things, it's like a fear came about where, yeah, I don't want to deal with alcohol because I might become an alcoholic or drugs or whatever the case may be. Now, like you said, you hit the nail on it when you said coping mechanisms. There are people that deal with stress and things of that nature totally different. For me, it wasn't alcohol. It was not drugs. My drug of choice was sex. So they don't want to talk about that.
College, 90% of college.
Listen.
Literally.
That was it. I didn't have to get high. I didn't have to drink. That was my thing. Okay, whatever is bothering me, okay, let me have sex. Oh, it's gonna feel better. No, the reality is some of them things now you have to deal with it years later because you're not delivered. You're not healed from these things. And now it's like, okay, now my job as a growing person in God, been through some things. My job is to tell you, Shekinah, listen, if this is the door you choose, let me put the options out here for you.
Right.
Now, choose ye this day whom you gonna serve.
Mm-hmm.
Is it God or is it the devil? Now, choose you what you're gonna do. Now, behind each thing, there is consequences. You're not gonna get away with it. And that's the part also in the meaty part of the book that we tend to forget. Go ahead, have much fun as you want. Go ahead to Wonderland. Go ahead. But once you get out, it's gonna be some things you're gonna have to deal with because of the choices you made. They don't want to tell that part of the book. Oh no. Mm-mm.
Because
Have much
when
as fun
you're
as you want.
even being young and in church, you hear about certain things that people deal with, and you kind of, even as a young person, you will kind of get the vibe like, okay, that ain't something church people really too fond of.
Right.
So that ain't something I can really come into the church. You know, they might accept if I come in and I say, I struggle with lying.
Yeah.
But if I come into the church and I say that I struggle with lesbianism, it's gonna be like witchcraft. You're like, it's just gonna be like, it's like, okay, that's, and it's like in reality there is no line, like there is no limit to what you can bring to God. So why do we feel like there's a limit to how vulnerable we can be in the church? We should be able to bring all of these things, but yet we make people feel like no matter how old you are, if you deal with this, keep that behind closed doors. Battle with that on your own. Figure it out on your own. And if we make people feel like that, they'll never be healed. Because if you put a limit on God, God can heal you from alcoholism, but he can't heal you from this. It's like,
Yeah,
be
it's
real, because
basically
in reality,
what you trust him with. One of another
yeah,
reasons why I made this platform, and it did something to my heart. When you have time, I want you to go back on YouTube and Kalante Gavin, who I'm
okay,
trying to get on my show. Kalante Gavin was at a church and he testified about how he's been anointed to sing and doing all these things to help deliverance come forth in the ministry, preaching and all of these things. And he had been being molested since he was 5 years old until he was 12. And so he said, I couldn't understand why nobody saw me in the church. Here I am shouting, here I am singing, all of these things, but nobody saw what was going on
what was going
behind
on?
closed doors. And then on top of that, he said one minute, because he was being molested by a guy, one minute he was confused on, should I be with
What is
dudes
it?
or should
What
I
is
be
it
with
about me
girls?
that's, listen? They ain't ready. They not ready to talk about it.
So when he said it, and of course it went viral, it was like some people was like, no, you shouldn't have did that. No, why would you get out there and do that? And then you had people like, thank God that you were being honest. That help you get delivered and help somebody else that maybe feel like I can't come out and tell that. Yes, you can. This is why we have this platform. Tell the truth. Let it all out, because listen, if I've been through this stuff, baby, you can come out too. You can come out too. Tell the truth. But it's ways to get help. You don't have to be sitting up here behind the church face and I'm still hurting. I'm still going to church all
Exactly.
the time and I don't have nobody, or I can't trust nobody with this big old secret. But your actions tell it all. Eventually it will come out. But he said it, and he said when he made this song, God hold me close, I listened to it in a whole different way, because he said I don't want to sing no more and I'm still sinning. Come on, somebody. I listen, you gonna make me cry on here, okay? He said, I don't want to keep singing, doing what I'm doing in ministry, and I'm sinning, and I'm gonna miss you.
Because that's what they want you to do. They want you to preach, pray, prophesy, praise dance, and you're dying. You're dying. Literally, you're dying. And you be
So
sitting there wondering, how am I praise dancing around this church and nobody can see that I'm going home every day crying myself to sleep? Nobody can see that. I'm around all these preachers and prophets and nobody can see me. And it's almost like you'll get to the point where you're begging to be seen. You will start dropping little hints because you just want somebody to grab you and just say, baby, I see you. Outside of the preaching, outside of the praise dance,
mhm.
outside of the choir, I see you. And that's what a lot of people feel like they're invisible outside of being a pastor, outside of being a musician, outside of being a prophet. Can you see me out when I take this robe off? Can I be me? Because can you really handle if your pastor gets up and says that he struggles with whatever? And are you really going to still be able to respect him as your leader? To say, you know what? You have a flesh just like I do.
I
So,
like I said with that, when Kirk Franklin came out and said he had a addiction to porn and he used to
mm-hmm.
masturbate, and the church world went crazy. I applauded him. I applauded him. Not only did it help in those who struggled in marriage, but that was an addiction that needed to be broken in order for him to love his wife the way he's supposed to love her. And the way he loves her now, It's like he just had a birthday and he was on there telling his wife, like, out of respect for God, I want to love my wife like I love the church, like I'm supposed to be. So therefore, there's nothing in your mind or nothing is going to separate you from the love of God. The same thing with your wife, same thing with your husband. So it's like, come on now. Thank you for being real. You was put aside. They might have canceled his shows. They might have ended anything like that. But guess what? He's still on top. He's still number one. Still get the awards today. Guess what? I appreciate your realness. Like I'm telling you right now, Shekinah, I appreciate your realness. That when you went to college, you didn't do all that. Woe is thou, thou is whatever, and thus said the Lord. No, you did not.
Yeah.
But the good thing is God's still working on you. Yes, you still gonna be a beacon to younger people and even the older ones. It's been on you since a kid. That ain't gonna change. But it's the moment.
Yeah.
That relationship with God is what's gonna keep you, not just having a, I go to church every day. That don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
But do you have a relationship with the one that woke you up this morning? Huh?
Yeah, because a lot of people, a lot of young people, I think when you're ministering to them and you tell them, this is sin, you gotta give up this, you can't do this. I think what they hear is everything that gives me a sense of security, everything that gives me a sense of identity, everything that gives me any type of enjoyment, fulfillment. You telling me I gotta
right.
I gotta give it away. And in reality, nobody really wants to do that. Everybody wants to live a fulfilled life. Everybody wants to be happy. And then what they also hear is, okay, if I give everything I am to God, what will I have left? And that is a really terrifying place to be in, especially for someone who's already trying to figure out who they are and is breaking out of a place where they feel like their whole life they've been told what they are, who they are, because as a young person, you're always constantly being told what to wear, what to do by your parents. So when you finally get out there and you say, okay, I can finally just be me and I can finally figure out what it means to be me. And then now you got people coming along telling me in order for me to be saved and in order for me to show God that I love him, I have to give all that away. I just got it. So even with coming back home, it was just like that everything that I developed a love for, do I have to give it away? How do I give this to God? How do I give up my love for music and still have that enjoyment? How do I give up my love for whatever and still get that fulfillment in God? Because we don't see how the manifestation of how God replaces all of that.
Yeah.
All we hear is just surrender, give up. I got to give this, give. We don't see how God is going to give that back 100-fold. Right. So it's like, I don't even want to say to a young person, but just to a person, period, that you're trying to draw in, you got to show them that. You got to show them that God can be the end all be all. And it's not so much that you have to surrender everything, but there is a way to live a godly life and be fulfilled and be happy, but people don't see that. So it's like now, even like you said, on your platform, it's important to show the world that it is a way to be godly and be happy. Because we live in a world now where people just want to do what they want to do. They want to be able to do what they want to do, live how they want to live, say how they want to say, and not deal with the consequences of it. So
how did you, I know we had talked about, okay, you've been in the church, you college, what are you going to college for?
So I'm going to college for mass media. So that can be mass media, mass communications. The department is called different things at different colleges, but it's all pretty much mass media and communications.
So then you have someone who has her own business. What is it called again?
The Chalk Shop.
So tell them what your business is.
Okay, so my business, so I make chocolate covered strawberries, chocolate covered pretzels, anything you can think that can be covered, I pretty much cover it. So, and I make like cheesecake and just all of that great stuff, which is actually crazy because I don't even like to cook. So the fact that I do anything concerning food is a miracle within itself.
Well, even in that, you come from a line of those who cook.
Exactly.
And those who are creative when it comes to
exactly.
Cooking. So again, even with the church, God, you got it twofold with that as well as the food. And so that's another platform to, advertise your business. Of if you want some, Valentine's Day, listen here. For those who listening, Valentine's Day is coming up right around the corner. And Shekinah business is into whatever that can be covered.
Come on,
if it's strawberries, pretzels, all of these things, please hit her up on Facebook. Her name is Shekinah Stacy. Inbox her, find out what her prices is. I personally haven't had it. I'm sure it's good. Again, I just want to make sure and tell you that I am godly proud of you. I really am. Like I said, I was around you all the time, and I've seen you develop over time. Now you're a young woman out here making decisions on her own. Nobody's telling you what to do. And that's the good thing about learning yourself by yourself. Nobody's gonna wake you up and say you got to go to class today. They did that in high school. They don't do that at college
at all.
They don't do that at your own job. You don't show up, guess what? I don't have to talk to your mama.
For the day. You ain't getting that
You're not getting paid, and you might get fired. So there is no going back to your parents. Now you're stepping out on your own, making your own decisions. And I know that great things are going to come from you. I know they're coming from you now because of the simple fact that you were not afraid to come out here and tell the truth. This is why
I receive it.
This is why other people look up to you. It doesn't matter the age. They know you're going somewhere. Know you're going somewhere. You cannot help it. The prayers of the righteous, trust me, they gonna avail of much. Yes, ma'am. You have no choice because of the stock that you come out of. So, you have something else to say?
I appreciate it. No, unless you got some you want to. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Do you have something on hand that the people can see?
Let me see. Let me real quick to my kitchen. But I definitely do want to thank you again for just opening up this platform. Like I said, this is why platforms like yours is so important because it gives businesses, Black businesses, minorities, the platform to come on here and do things like this. Look at God. It was just sitting right here on the table. How do you flip the camera?
Good question.
Okay, I can't flip the camera, but
that is good. And so you got
this
the little
is
fancy box too. You was doing big things.
I'm trying to expand some things, you know. So that's something I'm still making orders. I'm still in the process of getting orders done. But like I said, I'm excited about it. I actually, when I graduate, I want to actually wind up mentoring some young people that want to do this, want to start their own business, and letting them come on board to the chalk shop, and just letting them run it, and take it over while I start venture off and do what I'm really good in school to do. So I'm excited about that. So even if you guys know any teenagers or young people that are interested in baking, cooking, culinary arts, or just owning their own business or anything like that, please, you can inbox me about them, tag them, whatever the case may be, so I can get started on that.
How
So
old are
I'm
you
excited.
now?
I'm 20. I'll actually be 21 in April.
Wow, I feel old.
Oh, and I have Bags of Blessings coming up. So that's coming up in February. So that's an event where I just created care packages for the homeless, less fortunate, and it has hand sanitizer in it, masks, gloves, just anything to get them through the pandemic. So we definitely want to just keep raising awareness about that, and just shout out everybody that has donated to that so far. I've been getting so much help from my parents, from mentors. I got to shout out, of course, my parents, my grandmother, Apostle and First Lady Lawston are also some of my mentors. Pastor Harris, I don't know if they're on here, but some more of my mentors. So I just want to thank them for always just, encouraging me, helping me stay focused and grounded. They're greatly appreciated. So
that is good. And like I said, I thank you for taking the time out. And these are not the only platforms you're gonna be on. It's just not. You
you
have
better
something to
prophesy.
say, and that's the important part, that we give our youth important to understand and push them that you do have something to say regardless of where you are. If it's to, you have a little brother now, uh, you
A
have
few
to
of
just
them.
pour into him. Your cousins, your nieces and nephews, um, it doesn't matter. You have something to say. You'll always have something to say. And so I just thank you again for taking the time out from your busy schedule to come out on the platform. So you guys, those who are on, please like and share the video. Go to the YouTube channel, Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine. If you want all this wonderful chocolate covered, whatever you want, please go to Shekinah Stacy's inbox on Facebook. Get in touch with her, find out what her prices are, and bless the spouse, your girlfriend, boyfriend with something special. Not just only for Valentine's Day, but anytime you want to bless your mate or whoever.
Significant other.
Significant other, yes. I don't know if it's just for a teacher. I don't know what they doing these days. But however,
Right.
thank you again, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you again. Love you.
Love you too.
All right.
Bye.